Hey there, Blip here, and today we're going to be showing you the Mythic Hungering Devourer in a Mage point of view. This video is a lot later out than I planned on having it out, just because of Christmas and all these other delays, so I'm sorry about that. There's going to, my damage isn't going to be anywhere near as accurate as it is now. I've got a lot more gear and DPS since then, and in general, yeah, this fight wasn't really well executed by me in a damage perspective, and I'll show you where it goes completely wrong. But either way, I can still show you how to play Mage very well in this fight, and just using your toolkit to be really useful to the raid and be a valuable member of the team. So let's get straight into it. So we're going to start with the pull timer at 15 seconds. I'm going to use my Soul Igniter trinket, but remember this trinket was changed up recently, so make sure to check out my video on that if you want to know how that was changed. I'm going to hardcast the Pyroblast and do my combustion rotation. You can do the double Fire Blast Pyroblast rotation if you want, but I'll make a video on that another time. So right, now straight away we have the Gluttonous Miasma debuff going out here. Just going to pause the video, and this will probably be the longest pause because there's just a lot to explain, but I'll do my best to make it simple and quick and easy for you. So to start with, we have a Weakauras here, what you're seeing above people's heads where they're spamming a number and a marker. So this will simply show the marker that you're marked with, plus your HP percentage at the time, when you have the Gluttonous Miasma debuff. So what this is useful for is, on Mythic, the only change to this fight is that you're going to get a stacking damage taken increase when you help soak the miasma buff. But you need to help soak the miasma buff just to keep people alive, because it's the only thing that can heal them. So what this means is that by seeing a health percentage above the player's head, you can, predict if you need to help them soak or not. Because on Mythic, it takes one person to nullify the effect, and it takes two people to start healing the person. So what you're most likely going to find is you're going to have two people, like, alternate. We have a group of four. We have 4 different groups responsible for soaking specific markers. And we would rotate people in and out to make sure their stacks don't get too high and to keep the person alive who has the mark. It's more important you keep the person alive than your stacks going too high. But if everyone in your group keeps refreshing their stacks and you have 15 stacks each, then it's a bit of trouble. So you have to really just play this smart, look at your stacks. If you can help out and you see the person's dropping really low, just jump in there, help them out, and then just let the person who has the lowest stacks soak. But yeah, otherwise there isn't much to this. The Weakauras was just, I believe the Raider has a Big Wigs mod which marks each player, or 4 different players with different marks, and then we just had the marks positioned in the room already, so we could just move to the mark that we had. And yeah, in general as a mage you can be really nice and aggressive when you're soaking, because we just have so much to help us stay alive. Mirror images, your health stones, your tonics, a seed pod even if it gets really bad, and your cauterize. You have Ice Block as well, which resets your stacks, so you can use this if you really need to help someone stay alive but your stacks are getting too high. But the only thing to take away from this is just be mindful of your group, see who needs help soaking, and soak if you have to. Now also pay attention to your raid frames, because as you can see here, in group 3 and in group 1, 2 people from each of those groups got the debuff, so later on in the fight when people have more stacks, you might have to be more aware and help soak out just because there's no one else that can soak. So yeah, really just keep in mind all this stuff. This fight isn't really that complicated, it really is just being smart, being aware, and focusing on keeping your soak marker alive, okay? Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get straight into the fight. So I'm just doing my combustion rotation as normal. There's going to be lasers going out here, just move these to the side. They're pretty forgiving if you move quite far out, so just don't get splashed by these and don't drag them through the person with the mark. That's all you have to really do with the lasers. If you hit a marked person, it just means they need more healing and it gets a bit dangerous. And the Desolate cast you just saw go off there, that's an AoE that you need to make sure the person is topped for. You guys are most likely going to be fine, but the person with the miasma could be in danger. So now the expunge has gone off. Now I'm just going to pause the video quickly. So as you can see, I used my alter time there. What's really nice about Mage on this fight is that alter time is just so good for making plays, because what you can do is just alter time, move out with the expunge, soak the orb that you drop, and then alter time back to the mark. This means that when people might be in danger with the debuff, so the people with the miasma, they are going to obviously be quite low from this because they have to go out, no one's helping them soak, then they have to drop their orb, run back, and in all this time they're just dropping low and low and they're getting kind of low on HP. So by alter timing on the mark spot, you can just go out when you're in full HP, you soak the orb and just teleport back in at full HP to help soak the person that needs it. And one other note I just want to say, like just to help your raid out maybe, is that we had the people with the marks just stay kind of close to the boss with the expungers, and we would have someone else soak that orb. This way it's not much of a panic when we have to help keep them alive, and everyone could just rush back in and, you know, do it. It's not worth it just making this fight more hectic by having these people run out, because then there's going to be a lot of panicking, maybe some extending of stacks, and yeah, just by keeping them closer to the center of the room, it made it a lot easier for us, so keep that in mind and suggest it to your raid leader if they're not doing that. But yeah, now I just move back into the room, just helping the person who has a debuff soak. I see that he's kind of low, so I obviously need to help him, but then unfortunately we get the beams. We just spread out different directions. Just one thing again I just want to point out with the beams is, if you see that two of you in the same group has it, just, there's no rush. You can stand still for a second, see what the other person is planning on doing. If he's going right, you go left. If he's going left, you go right. And it should help you a little bit, although it's not always easy to do that. But then that way you're not going to, you know, judge each other and keep messing up with the laser movement. So yeah, the fight is just going on as per normal. It's just a single target fight, so there's no need to worry that much. I see that the star mark is being soaked quite nicely, so I'm just going to sit out here, do my combustion, and let my stacks drop off. Now expunge is coming in, not a great timing, but I'm a mage, I'm not going to drop really low, and because I have my combustion running, it doesn't matter if I soak an orb because I can cast while moving anyway. I'll just soak the orb, stay in just so I do a bit more damage. I see the person on star is quite low when he's coming over, so I'm just trying to help him soak. Unfortunately, two people in our group aren't here, so the other guy should be helping me as well. And now it's consume, so what we do with consume, if you look in the top left of the notes, is that we have the person with the debuff on that specific mark run to the specific mark far, so it's pretty much just mirroring it. Well, no, not mirroring it, sorry, that'd be reflecting it. But just literally moving the markers over to the other side of the room. So we have, you know, star go to skull, orange to moon, purple to cross, and green to blue. And this way, their debuffs will be on the outside of the spirit link we're going to put down, and they won't accidentally move into the group and extend and refresh our stacks, because if that happens, it could mean that no one could really soak for them when we get back to the center and they could die. So by having them on the outsides, they could stay alive because they could just keep touching the spirit link, we wouldn't have to help soak them, and then they could just move back in at their own pace and we would be fine. So you'll see this in action here now. These guys are getting to their specific marks, they're just touching the spirit link in the damage reduction, and it makes it easy. And then we get the debuffs here, we just spread out as soon as possible. It's hard to avoid that really, maybe we could spread out earlier, but no one on green is helping me soak now. I realize this, I'm getting low. Just going to play it safe here and use my ice block, because I know I could die otherwise, or pop my cauterize at the very least, which wouldn't heal me, because I can't be healed while this debuff, so I would just die. Now the Desolate is coming in. I'm topped, so I'm not in any panic right now. The fight's just going on as per normal. Now I wasted my rune of power here, I probably should have saved it until I moved back to my mark, but oh well. Expunge is coming in, can use my alter time again just so I can heal the guy quickly. Soak my orb, alter time back in, and just help soak, because being that person that can get back in and help soak that guy early is very useful, because everyone else is typically slow. As a mage we can get back very fast. So I could have died there. I was actually way too close to the laser people, as you saw, and I already had the debuff, so be really careful about that. Maybe stand a bit further away from the boss so you're a bit safer from stuff like that. Yeah, now I see there's other people soaking. I have 13 stacks. My group is pretty healthy, so I'm just going to let them soak. Now maybe I was a bit too greedy here and I made the person on star panic, but he bubbled anyway, so it's not really a problem, and I didn't really hit him, so... Got the laser here, I'm being careful because I see that the other guy is going towards the tanks as well. You don't want to ever double smack the tanks because they'll die. And then here again we're just moving to the center. Now the person on green unfortunately does something very stupid and ends up cleaving the whole raid with the stacks until he realizes it's too late. Don't be that guy, it doesn't look good. Now here's where I make my biggest mistake of the fight. I see myself dropping low, and what I'm going to do here is something that no mage ever wants to happen. So I'm dropping low, I see that like no one's helping me soak, and then I'm going to combust. I'm still kind of low, so I used my alter time, right? But here's the big mistake. I realized that the people helping me soak, and I didn't want to use my alter time to get myself back to low HP because I set myself when I was about 60%. So what this means is that, unfortunately, I'm going to try and right click off my alter time. And as a result of this and my constant hot streaks, I accidentally click off my combustion. And that, my friends, is the most tilting thing you will ever experience. So my advice to you is make a cancel aura for your altar time, because you're not always gonna go back to it, and it's something I should have done and knew I wanted to do even before the expansion began, and I've never gotten around to it, and as a result, I really suffered this fight very badly. So don't be that person, make a cancel aura macro in case you do need to cancel your altar time. And don't right click it off, because trust me, the regret you will feel is very big. Now I just want to say one thing about altar time during this fight as well that's very handy, and that is that altar time sets your health percentage, right? It's not healing, so if you get the debuff, you know, the miasma debuff where you can't be healed, and you altar time at the start of it, that means you're gonna, when you use your altar time again, you'll be set back to 100% HP, because it's not a heal, it's just setting your health percentage straight up, which makes it a very useful tool for this fight. So if you do have the debuff, you're 100% and you see that the group, there aren't many people, a few people have high stacks, you can use your altar time in that way as well. But in general, I just used it to go out, be a bit more greedy with DPS, soak my orb and then teleport back in, because I felt like that was the best way for me to use it. But it's your altar time, you find the way that suits you best. Now see the person on star is dropping quite low, so we have a lot of people go in here to soak, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we're just helping the guy live, because that's what matters on this fight. Otherwise, yeah, you've pretty much seen the fight in full now, nothing really else is going to change. Unfortunately, my timers got kind of scuffed now, because obviously I cancelled my combustion, meaning I got less crits, and yeah, in general, I could have played this fight a lot better. To expunge, I used my mirror images for this just because I didn't have altar time, and then I can just soak my orb still. So now this guy's 100% HP, we should really move out, but it doesn't really matter now, we're moving over here, and our stacks are pretty much going to drop off anyway. Unfortunately someone died on green with the laser, but it's not a big deal at this point, we still have a res, and the fight is pretty much over. So yeah, I kind of scuffed this combustion as well, as you can see. I'm going to run out of my Inferno Cascade. But pretty much in this fight I'm just tilted because of that cancel combustion I did, so yeah, it wasn't a great fight at this point. But it's not like I did the mechanics wrong, I still did them pretty well. And that's really all that matters at this point, killing the boss. So as you can see here, I'm just going to alter time again to get back straight to star after I soak my orb. And as you can see there, Fearly, the guy on the left, the druid, helped soak an orb, just because that's what we did. Whenever the person dropped the orb in close to melee, we just soaked it and helped them out, because healing is really not an issue in this fight, it's just the miasma debuffs, honestly. So you see I stopped soaking there. I saw that the person with star was quite healthy, and my health was dropping quite a bit. If I soaked a bit more, I could have died. So, and this is where I'm going to use my ice block again, simply because my circle was getting too big. I was kind of low and I wanted to soak my orb. I can cast while moving now because it's Scorch Phase, so I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to soak that orb for that guy. And now the fight is just going on as normal until it dies. Now we're going to get a consume here. Now the boss is going to die very quickly after this, so I thought, hey, you know what, I'm a mage, I have my altar time, I have loads of defensives up, I'm just going to do my combustion while moving. This wouldn't have happened if I didn't cancel my combustion earlier, but it did, so oh well, it happens. Just did my combustion to make sure we can kill the boss as fast as possible. Got a laser, just waited to see what Fearly was going to do, and then I moved to the left. Just spamming Scorch now. So the fight is pretty much over now, and congratulations on your kill. Fortunately, Weakauras popped at the end there, but oh well, happens. And yeah, now you've killed the Hungering Devourer. I hope this video was really helpful to you. If you have any questions, be sure to leave it in the description and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.